We talk a lot here in Tampa Bay during storms, especially about down power lines and how they can be live and they can be dangerous. So you need to stay away from them. We just went through this when that last hurricane came through. Well, James Doris is the CEO of Camber Energy, which is using technology that instantaneously cuts the power to a downed line. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
This is a really interesting concept, something that we talk about during storm season all the time, that if you see down lines, stay away from them. So talk to me about how your technology works.
Sure. First, I want to say that utility companies are under enormous pressure right now. I mean, existing infrastructure is insufficient to handle current power demands, and power consumption is only going to increase exponentially for years to come. So when it comes to dealing with challenges and problems within their network, it's important for utility companies to have solutions that assist with precision and isolation. Precision to precisely identify what the problem is and isolate it to a particular area, preferably a particular line. Anytime there's power disruptions, you want to avoid regional blackouts, neighborhood blackouts, and limit the impacted area as small as possible. But then most importantly, utilities have to be concerned about improving safety. And down power lines are a huge problem. And right now, if an energized line breaks and hits the ground or a piece of equipment close by and causes a spark, conventional methods are designed to identify that fault or the short circuit and terminate the power. But often that's too late. So our technology is designed as a software-based solution that gets incorporated seamlessly into a utility's existing infrastructure, and it's designed to detect instantly that break in the power line and to de-energize the line within fractions of a second. So by the time it hits the ground or something close by, there is no power.
So you mentioned the damage portion of this a little bit, and Maui is an example of these down lines causing damage. It was a good example of how this could get out of hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And this software, this solution is designed to reduce the damage and try to save lives, which is the most important thing, of course. And it can be an integral part of a utility's overall safety plan, and in our view, more effective than the current plans.
So what is the technology then designed to assist with?
Well, again, it's right now with utilities, let's say there is a fire, a wildfire, and down conductors or down power lines are not the sole cause of wildfires, but they are a contributing factor. But let's say the wildfire is caused by something else, whether it's a natural disaster, accident, whatever it might be. Safety committees in a utility identify danger zones, and then they can shut the power off in that particular zone to minimize the impact of the fire, which is fine. But when you're talking about power disruption, you want to minimize the impacted area to as small region as possible. But also, what happens if they're wrong, right? What happens if the fire goes another way and it hits another zone that they haven't identified? So our technology is designed to be incorporated. It gets incorporated into what's called a protective relay device, which is a piece of equipment that's within a utility's infrastructure that helps monitor activity on the power lines. So our software will identify a break in the line and to de-energize it instantly.
So real quickly before we let you go, are you finding that more utility companies are reaching out to you to make this change?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, we've invested in this technology a while ago. It was our intent to introduce it more broadly several months ago, but as we were completing various testing protocols and verification procedures, we found ways to not only enhance the technology, but reasons to file additional patent applications to strengthen our IP. So in addition to the patents that are pending that we publicly announced, we filed along with our joint venture partners, filed additional patent applications. So that was only recently done. So now we're in a position to introduce it to the world more broadly. And we're, of course, reaching out to people within our own network. But given the severity of the problem around the world, we invite other utilities, power companies, and even levels of government to reach out to us to learn how our product can be part of their safety plan.
Yeah, and you can do that by going to Camber Energy, camber.energy. You see that at the bottom of your screen there. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us about this new technology.
Thanks for having me.